Hello, everybody. You are listening to CJSF 90.1 FM Burnaby, the campus community radio station at Simon Fraser University. We respectfully acknowledge that we broadcast in the unceded ancestral territories of the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh, the Coquitlam, and the Musqueam. We stream online at cjsf.ca, and today you are listening to WTF SFSS, where we talk about all things SFSS. This is going to be a bi-weekly show, and we're going to hopefully progress into having weekly shows. And today we are joined with Balkis as our host from the SFSS, and we will also be introducing Asab, who is the SFSS president, at the end of the episode. So Balkis, introduce yourself. Who are you, what do you do, and how are you doing today?
Hello, my name is Balkis. I go by she, her, and hers. I am really sleepy because I'm at a different time zone right now, and it's currently midnight where I am. But it's been really interesting keeping up with Pacific time. I know a lot of people are in the same situation as I am as we start the new school year. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. Excited to get this show going, to just have this platform for just students to talk and connect, and it's pretty exciting. Keep up with your student society.
Yeah, I think it's very important that students know what the SFSS even is, because I think, a huge reason why, members of the board wanted to start the show in the first place was because there's a lack of education around, what the SFSS does and how they serve students. And so I feel like this is going to be a great way for people to learn about who you all are.
Yeah, let's start with what SFSS even stands for. It just sounds like a bunch of letters, but it stands for Simon Fraser Student Society, and we are a student union. If you're an undergrad at SFU, you are part of the SFSS, so you should definitely care about it, especially because it takes your money, and with that money provides you services, opportunities, club experiences. It's a student-led organization that came together. It was formed because students wanted a way to come together and advocate collectively for the interest of these 25,000 plus students at SFU. So that's why the SFSS even exists. And the way it runs is that it's governed by a student-elected board of directors every spring semester. And yeah, basically y'all tell us what to do, and we do it. That's kind of how this runs.
Why do you feel like students should care about the SFSS and the elections and everything that encompasses it?
Ooh, so I already mentioned we take your money, right? But I'm kidding. Students should care because the student experience is not only shaped by your academics, but everything else about student life. And everything else about student life is covered under your student union, your student society. There's something for everyone. There's all sorts of clubs to get involved with. There are all sorts of committees to get involved with, like SFSS committees. You benefit from different things like UPass, which the Student Society negotiates for you, and we'll touch on a bit later, the most recent UPass updates. The health and dental plan, the emergency food bank program. There's different things, and there's something for everyone. If you're into music, we got you. If you're into advocacy, we got you. So yeah, that's why students should care, because there's something for everyone.
How are some ways that students can get involved?
Besides clubs, there's DSUs, departmental student unions. There are also groups under students that get together with similar interests. These are basically every department has its own student union. And if you're taking even one class in that department, you're part of that student union automatically, which means you can go participate, vote. So get involved with your departmental student unions. They're the link between the students and the departments. But in general, getting involved. Yeah, there's clubs, departmental student unions. There are other student groups like the Rotunda community to get involved with, whether it's attending events or being on boards, to actually organize events or work on projects together or campaigns together. Some of these groups are like the Women's Center out on campus, SF which is the Social Justice and Research Center. We have the Embark Sustainability Group, and SOCA, Students of Caribbean African Ancestry, Black group on campus. There's FNSA, the First Nations Student Association. There's a lot to get involved with on campus through student organizing. It's pretty exciting stuff.
To talk more about some upcoming events, we have Jennifer, who is the SFSS's VP Student Life.
Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer Joe, your VP Student Life for the Board 2020-2021 year. I am so excited to show everybody about all the events I have planned for you. It's going to be a very exciting month in September.
Yeah, so thank you so much for being on our show, our very first SFSS episode, SFSS podcast episode. So what are some events that we could look forward to this month?
I'm so glad you asked, because tomorrow, or like the date after we air this episode on September 18th, we actually have 2 workshops. So there's an SFU hip hop dance workshop if you ever want to get physically active while having fun. And we also have a Figma workshop for people who are more, they want to sit down and like redesign Spotify. So we have basically something for everybody.
Yeah, that's so cool. So what would the hip hop workshop entail?
Well, for the hip hop workshop, you would basically just need an open space and I guess some enthusiasm and a willingness to learn. Maybe even a TikTok if you want to showcase your dances on TikTok. But I understand not everybody wants to do that. It's basically just a workshop about having fun, getting physically active, making some new friends. And I would recommend it for anybody who is even a little bit interested in dancing, because it's super fun. It's a great way to make new friends, especially in this remote online learning environment that we're in right now. As for the Figma workshop, I think it's a great way to leverage your design skills. If you're a design newbie and you want to use this time to learn how to do new things, this is the workshop for you, because Figma is free. It's online. All you have to do is make an account, and we'll basically just teach you over Zoom how to redesign a Spotify app interface, which is awesome. And it could be great for your portfolio and your future career as well.
Are there any other events that you personally are excited about, or you're going to join yourself?
Yeah, actually, I think I might join the Figma one. That's one I'm super excited about. Another one is the bullet journaling workshop, which I haven't talked about yet, but I can expand on it later on. But yeah, I'm a very artsy person, which is why I really like design and bullet journaling. So if you're artsy like me, I would highly recommend these workshops.
So what does the bullet journaling workshop look like?
Oh, yeah. So the bullet journaling workshop, we got a local student instructor, Shay Hayashi. She is like a time management productivity queen. And every month she has these beautiful bullet journaling spreads. You can check them out on her website, shayhayashi.com. But she is going to be presenting on how to even start a bullet journal, what to do with one, and basically how to get organized in one. And this event is happening on September 22nd, which is right before midterm season, kind of. So Shay will be teaching us how to do a spread for the month of October and just how to get organized. And you can also put down your goals, like if you want to exercise this much every day, if you want to track your moods and things like that, that can also go in your bullet journal. And Shay will be teaching us how to do all that.
Are there any events that involve pets?
Yeah, so the day right after the bullet journal workshop, on the 23rd, we will have our pet social. So if you love pets and you would like to get to meet other people who also love pets, feel free to come by. We'll have some raffle gift card giveaways, so that's always fun. It won't get awkward because there'll be cute little animals right there in the Zoom call with us. And yeah, it'll be a good time.
What other events are there that we haven't touched on yet for September?
Oh, so many. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about another dance workshop, which is happening on a weekend. So if you have class on weekdays, feel free to drop by to our dance workshop on the 19th of September, which is a Saturday. It's hosted by SFU Soka. It's an Afro dance workshop, which is amazing because I didn't even know Afro dance existed until SFU Soka brought this up. So I'm super excited for that. If you couldn't make it to the hip hop workshop, or if you're interested in learning about Afro dance, feel free to drop by. Another event that people could find interesting is our food justice webinar, which is happening on September 25th. And basically, we invited an SFU professor to come in and talk a little bit about food justice in the Lower Mainland. So you can basically learn about where your food comes from and what that has to do with food justice. And it's basically like a free lecture. Usually we would pay for lectures, but this one we're giving it to you for free. So don't miss it. It's going to be very informative and interesting.
That sounds great. It looks also like there is going to be Cultural Week. So tell me a little bit about that and the different smaller events that are going to happen within that week.
Thank you for asking. I'm super excited for Cultural Week because the SFSS Events Committee is collaborating with a lot of other cultural groups on campus to put this together. The Cultural Week is from September 28th to October 4th. So it continues from the Monday all the way through the weekend. So on the Monday, we're collaborating with SFU Taiwanese Association. So they will be doing an Instagram takeover to talk about some different aspects of Taiwanese culture. And they will also be doing a bubble tea workshop where they go to a bubble tea store and basically show us how bubble tea is made. And then on the Tuesday, we will have Instagram takeovers from SFU ALAS, which is Association for Latin American Students. And then on the Wednesday, it's FNSA, the First Nation Student Association. Thursday, October 1st, is the Pakistan Student Association. Friday is SFU SOCA. Saturday will be SFU K-Storm. And Sunday, we'll have a samosa food workshop. So throughout the week, you have to be sure to check out the SFSS_events Instagram, because a lot of these groups will be doing Instagram takeovers on our stories. And you can find interactive polls and learn new things about these different cultures.
Where can students learn about the events and where can they sign up to attend the events?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking. So I pretty much run the SFSS_events Instagram. So all of the event updates and everything will be posted on there. If you would like to have exclusive early registration for any of our events, all you have to do is direct message the Instagram account and ask to be added to the close friends list. And we will be posting exclusive early sneak peek events on our close friends story. But generally, all the updates can be found on the Instagram. And if you don't have Instagram, be sure to check out our website, sfss.ca/calendar, because that calendar will have all of our events for the month.
Okay, thank you so much. And we hope to talk to you soon in the next few episodes, because you're probably going to host next month or something.
Yeah, next month, I'm super excited about our Stranger Things Murder Mystery Night. So there are a lot of exciting things coming, and I'm hoping to see some of you there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, Balkis, are there any new updates that we should be concerning ourselves with about SFU or the SFSS?
So, updates. Some things we've heard. We've had buzzing on campus. I'm saying campus in quotes because virtual campus. But we have a new president, SFU president. We have Dr. Joy Johnson taking on presidency. She actually started early September 1st. So say goodbye to those Andrew Petter memes because we're jumping for Joy. I've been waiting to use that, and I'm definitely not the first. I did not coin that. But yeah, well, let's see how this goes, where I think students have been pretty vocal about welcoming Joy, but also making it really clear that we are interested in working together to serve students. We're going to work together on the good stuff and hold the university accountable and pressure on things that could be improved. So I'm excited for that. It's always great to see new faces. Other updates. What else is buzzing? The SFU Athletics team name change was dropped. We are no longer called the Clan, thank goodness. The thanks to a lot of Black student organizing, particularly Black athletes organizing and advocating, the name has been dropped. And, you know, it's kind of awkward when you say yes and playing on the field, the Klansmen. It's people I know is Klan with a C, but let's be real, in the North American context, people heard Klan with a K, and it got incredibly awkward. Though we recognize and acknowledge the family lineage and like the wonderful name that it is and what it carries, we also acknowledge how traumatic that was, and for particularly BIPOC and, you know, Black students, the name itself was problematic. Let's just say that. So I'm very glad to see that that's been dropped, and looking forward to a name that we can all be proud of. Though I must say, Andrew Petter's and SFU's reason for dropping was basically that, yeah, we heard the community and we dropped it. There wasn't really any acknowledgement of trauma caused to particularly Black athletes and even coaches, I'd imagine. No acknowledgement of, actually there was acknowledgement of trauma, but it didn't say who, just a trauma, like vague, because everyone was traumatized, right? All trauma matters. So yeah, acknowledgement of trauma without any resources provided, that was problematic. But nonetheless, still a huge win for the community, particularly the Black community. And yeah, looking forward to a name we can, you know, just be proud of, just yell at the top of our lungs. Another update is about UPass, which we'll go into later with ASUB. As you know, we've actually reinstated it based on what students voted for, and it was the most equitable democratic decision, and we'll have us talk about that a bit later.
Yeah, so thank you, Balkis, for giving us all that information about what the SFS is, how to get involved, some updates. And after the break, we're going to be having Asib on, who is the SFSS president. And she's going to be talking a little bit more about what we can expect for the future of the SFSS and also for this upcoming fall semester. So stay tuned for that.
For 40 years, the Simon Fraser Public Interest Research Group, aka SFPIRG, has been helping students build communities at SFU. Campus organizations like Out on Campus and Embark developed out-of-action groups at SFPIRG. Action groups are one of the ways that student activists can take action for change. Visit us at www.sfpirg.ca. That's www.sfpirg.ca to learn more about starting your own action group today.
Next up is Lockdown by Coffee, and then Cheerleader by St. Vincent.
Where will we go when the quarantine thing done and everybody touch road? Mommy, me gonna start, pull up in a fast car, yeah. I know fast start, make you want the fast part, yeah. I know you're feeling me, you know I'm feeling you. So what now we for do, yeah. Hey fancy, oh your heart state, now no vacancy. Last time see you on FaceTime, chatting up the place, bout in our relationship. Me I go put you on lockdown, I put your body on lockdown. You got me on lock now. Got my passion on lock. Oh, if you love me, you should let me. You should let me. You should let me know. And if you don't know, better feel let me. Better feel let me. I better you let me go. Pulling up, pulling up, pulling up. Nobody deal with the bagel and talking. Me nothing know we are chilling in an apartment. Hope you don't mind me asking, where will we go when the quarantine thing done and everybody touch road? Mommy, me gonna start, pull up in a fast car, yeah. I know fast start, make you want the fast part, yeah. I know you're feeling me, you know I'm feeling you. So what now we for do, yeah. Say you want travel, we go whole valley. Say you hope in your love and not just no tally. Make my heart full of some love you totally. Do my own thing, I'm in no trouble, nobody. I'm watching out for the party out. And they didn't hear but them I watch me now. Swing on me no miss like Pacquiao. What you feeling for hot coffee out? What you know, what you know. All you want talk but how much you money. Yeah, anything you want, coffee got the money. Yeah, me give you my heart, make you take it from me. Where will we go? When the quarantine thing done and everybody touch road. Mommy, me gonna start, pull up in a fast car, yeah. And a fast start, make you want the fast part, yeah. I know you're feeling me, baby. You know I'm feeling you, baby. So what now we for do, yeah. Baby, are you feeling me? Cause I'm really feeling you. Baby, are you feeling me? Cause I'm really feeling you. I'ma pull up in my fast car. Pull up in my fast car. Really feeling for that rock star. Anytime you see me,
I've had good times with some bad guys. I've told whole lies with a half smile. Held your bare bones with my clothes on. I've thrown rocks then hit both my arms. I don't know what good it serves. Pouring my purse in the dirt, but I don't wanna be a cheerleader no more. I've played dumb when I knew better. Tried too hard just to be clever. I know honest thieves I call family. I've seen America with no clothes on. But don't wanna be a cheerleader no more.
You are listening to CJSF 90.1 FM Burnaby, the campus community radio station at Simon Fraser University. And in the past half hour, I was talking to Balkis and Jennifer about what the SFSS is, what this show is about, and some events that are coming up. Now we actually have a special guest, Asab, who is the SFSS president. Please introduce yourself. How are you doing? And what's the vibe for today?
Hi, my name is Asab, and thank you so much for having me. I am the SFSS president, and I'm also a fifth-year health science student, hopefully almost done. I'm doing pretty good. The vibe for today is kind of muggy because it's really hot in my room right now, but other than that, it's pretty good. So thanks.
I'm so glad to hear that. I'm sorry that your room is stuffy. So we're just going to be asking you some general questions about some SFSS updates and things like that. And feel free to add whatever you feel is important to talk about. So the first thing that Balkis also touched on earlier in the episode was about the UPass. So we know that there were initially some controversies surrounding it, and the reinstation of the UPass. And so what are your thoughts on it, and sort of how did this come about, and how did everybody how did this come about?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it definitely wasn't a decision that we made lightly, and it's something that I can kind of understand from both perspectives, as kind of seeing the work that went in the background to actually get the UPass reinstated and the reasons why we did it, but also as a student who has to pay an additional cost that maybe I might use, I might not use. So I do definitely understand both sides of it. But at the end of the day, this is an offer that was, we have a contract with TransLink that unfortunately as a student society, we don't have a lot of leverage on. And we only had two options. We either had to reinstate the UPass for everyone, or we had to keep it suspended for the summer semester, or for the fall semester, the same way that we did for the summer. So we did as much student consultation as we could. We put out a survey to, hear from students and to see how many of them were in Metro Vancouver and how many of them would even need to use the UPass. And in the end, even though the majority was slim, it was still a majority, and that was the route that we decided to go down, was to reinstate the UPass. And we can't really predict how the pandemic is going to play out over the long term, but something that we do know for a fact is that there are students who still need to get around, and there are students who do definitely rely on the UPass to get around. And for anyone who has tried to pay for transit outside of UPass knows it is extremely expensive. I remember, transiting 3 zones, it felt like I was filling out my card every single time I got onto the SkyTrain or on the bus, and it ended up really, really being a big financial burden. So I hope that students understand that, we wish that we could opt out the people who didn't need it. That's something we tried to negotiate with TransLink that unfortunately didn't work out, but we're able to opt out a lot more students now than we would have been able to under our original agreement. So I think there's a small win there, but yeah, not to discount the financial struggles that students are going through. It was a tough choice to make, but we made the one that the majority of students indicated that they wanted.
So what's it been like serving students online, and, taking complaints from them or suggestions and things like that?
I think it's been a struggle, I'm not going to lie. I think in a lot of ways, the face-to-face aspect of being able to actually talk with the student, or student wanting to, come and meet with you to bring their concerns forward, I think a lot can be resolved easier when we're having face-to-face conversations. I think sometimes, unfortunately, emails and stuff can come off as a little bit impersonal, but at the same time, I think it's quite nice because you're able to reach more students through some of our online events. And I think when they hear from us, and it's such a low barrier thing, I know like the town hall that we did, or even being able to participate in things such as Welcome Day, I think that that's a good way to kind of get students to hear from us and to also hear back from them in comments and things like that. But it's still kind of rough. And I was on the board last year, and I think that some of the most fun things were, being able to go to clubs days, or being able to go attend the services fair and all those things, and actually like talk to people and get to know them. And I really do I really am kind of sad that we're not able to do that this year, but we're trying to make up for it, I think, as best as we can.
I remember last year, some board members in particular, like including you, were pretty out there and active, and it was such a vibe. It was so fun seeing like you and Giovanni, last year's president, just basically everywhere all the time. I don't understand how you guys did it, but it was pretty cool. I definitely missed that about being in person. I was excited to do that this year.
So sort of following that, how involved were both of you in school life in your first couple of years as an SFU student?
Well, I would say not very, if at all. During my first couple of years, I took a lot of my courses at the Surrey campus just because I live in Surrey. It was something that it honestly kind of didn't feel like I was actually in university in some ways. It was kind of strange going to school in what basically felt like a mall to me growing up. So I never really joined. Yeah, for anyone who hasn't had a chance to visit the Surrey campus, it's like directly attached to Central City Mall, which I would visit a lot as a kid. So I kind of just went to class and just went home after that. So not particularly involved, but I would say that if I could go back and redo something, I think I would have joined like just a club or any club or, you know, my DSU or something like that, because I really feel now looking back that I could have enjoyed my university experience a lot more if I had, you know, gone out of my way to you know, try something new or make new friends and stuff like that. And as an introvert, it sucks, but like once you get past that like first kind of like terrible, awkward, you know, introductory stuff, like you can, you know, make some really good friends while you're here. So my answer is not involved, but don't be like me, basically.
Well, clearly you ended up being very involved later, so you did something right. So my first year, I dove right in, like dove, not sure which is a word, but I dove right in. And I lived in residence for the first couple of years of being at SFU. So my university experience, like my first little bit was shaped by residence. I actually didn't know of anything else. I didn't know about DSUs, or I heard of clubs, but I wasn't super into clubs. But catch me at every single residence event, basically. I made all my friends at the dining hall. We're still homies. It was a really good time. I think I could walk into the dining hall and I'd know like half of the people there at any time. It was pretty cool. Also, I was very tired. I was an introvert, but a social introvert. I think that's how I'd best describe myself. And then second year, it was really shaped by, I got involved with SOCA, Students of Caribbean and African Ancestry. It's a Black group on campus. And I was approached by the president at the time, Giovanni, on a bus. He came with a pamphlet saying, hey, we're firstly like, how are you? You know, where are you from? And being my little shy self at first, I was like, don't talk to me. But it worked out for the better, because I went to the event that he invited me to, and like a whole new world opened up. I like met people that I really related to and connected with. I felt super comfortable and at ease around them. So I actually heard about SFSS through SOCA in my second year when we were dealing with the Black Space Matters campaign. Suddenly there was this huge issue that came up where the Rotunda groups were basically being asked to leave and were not being provided space in the new student union building. So that's like, I think besides the fun and like the connection I found through SOCA, I think that was also another thing that took a lot of my time and a lot of my student engagement. And I met a lot of people through my advocacy work through that. And low-key, like, it was very draining, but worthwhile, clearly, because at the end of the day, students' voices were heard, and the Rotunda groups got space in the sub, and Black students have space in the sub too. So it's pretty neat.
So what are some unexpected hurdles of this year that either of you faced, both within SFSS and also maybe in your own personal school lives due to COVID-19?
I would say this kind of, I think, falls into both categories of a hurdle that kind of came about as it relates to what we do within the SFSS and in school, is that academics and just like the standard of learning that we're receiving right now has just become so different, and I think a lot worse than what it used to be. And that has resulted in a lot of students needing help and needing advocacy when it comes to the way their instructors are treating them, when it comes to the way that, you know, their courses are being graded or the way that they're getting content delivered to them. We've been doing a lot of, you know, reaching out to instructors, reaching out to departments, and making sure that they're following their own guidelines, and also reaching out to the university admin to try and get them to set some real guidelines. Because a lot of the times, you know, instructors under the guise of academic freedom are kind of just free to do as they please. And there are instructors who are amazing and accommodating, and I've had them, and I know that a lot of students have. And on the flip side, there are instructors that are not so great and not so accommodating. So that's something that I think is and will continue to be a struggle. And that's also reflected, I think, in all of us who are taking classes, is that, you know, we're just not used to this. It takes, you know, it's not that easy to transition from a style of learning that you get to know over so many years to suddenly having to do everything online. And, you know, it can be really a really difficult transition. And a lot of people, I think, have been impacted quite badly by it. So, yeah, that's been one big hurdle that we haven't really gotten over, but it looks like that we're in this for the long haul. So we're going to keep working at it.
Yeah, I think like everyone else, just adjusting to the new lifestyle, or at least the temporary lifestyle for now, has been pretty challenging. I think one unexpected thing I've noticed in my personal life, and I know my friends are dealing with some of the same stuff as well, is everything about my life is basically on a screen. I'd say like 75% of my life is on my laptop right now. So distinguishing between what's work, what's play, what's resting, what's socializing, it kind of all gets muddled together for me. Now throwing in I feel like academics is a bit easier because, you know, just close your Facebook tab when you're studying. That one's straightforward. But I do find that structuring my time without having like physical locations to be is more challenging, and I do need to be more mindful about that.
So are there any pleasant surprises about remote life you've like experienced? Again, either within the SFSS or your personal lives, school lives, things like that.
Oh, you could wake up 10 minutes before you need to be somewhere and get there awake and on time. It's great. It's great. And in your sweats.
Yeah, I think I have a lot more free time now just because I don't have to transit. Like, I think not on top of the time I actually spent transiting, add the time that I spent complaining about transiting, I think altogether was quite a lot of time. So I'm glad that I don't have to do that right now. But one thing that I was thinking about the other day that I actually am really glad for is something that I've noticed is when you have a lot of meetings in person, oftentimes you know, all come into the room and you have to wait for everyone to show up, and like you have to exchange these like awkward like small talk and pleasantries or whatever. And like now we don't have to really do that anymore, which I really like. Which I know is such like a minor thing, and some people really enjoy doing that, but I never really enjoyed the small talk with people I didn't know. So that's kind of cool. Now you just say hello everybody and mute yourself.
That's so introverted. That's the most introverted thing I've heard all week. I think another pleasant surprise is I'm home with my family now, and like that's not in Canada. I'm in totally different time zone, and I haven't lived at home since I was for the last like 5 years. So I'm almost learning how to live with my family again and just spending more time with them. So that's been really nice. As challenging as it is to cope with keeping up with Pacific time. But yeah, something we're working on, just advocating for as much asynchronous learning as possible for students.
So yeah, like how do you feel about sort of starting school online? Because Balkis, I know that you're in a different time zone, so it's not like the easiest thing for you to navigate. And sometimes, like for today, there were some technical difficulties, some scheduling difficulties with your class, and our meeting time, but things happen. So are you like nervous? Are you excited? Because I know the last few semesters have sort of been similar, but what's the vibe with that?
Well, I didn't take any class over the summer, so this is just that class is just a new factor for me right now. So we'll see how it goes. I've also only attended one so far. So yeah, we'll see. I definitely, and that misscheduling you're talking about, I think I've already messed up the time zone conversions. I'm 10 hours ahead, but I mess it up sometimes going back and forth. So definitely misscheduled a couple times, or just napped at the wrong time. But it's something I'm adjusting to, trying to figure out the calendars and stuff, and also like my own sleep schedule, because trying to get a healthy schedule going. So nervous, I think, is the more prevalent.
Online. More than excited, and you could probably tell I'm a little bit distracted because I'm kind of having the same issue, trying to make sure that I'm well scheduled and I can keep everything up. But honestly, really, really nervous just because I'm kind of finishing up school now, which I'm really excited about. But I really, like it, even during the summer semester, really struggled with online learning just because I find that I learn a lot better in a lecture and actually, listening to somebody speaking to me. But I think that is something that I hopefully can overcome, knowing that it's not going to be for too much longer, and a little bit excited too, because I think that every semester it's kind of like a new start, and you tell yourself you're going to develop all these great habits, and sometimes it works out. So hopefully this will be that time. So yeah, I'm nervous and excited.
Mm-hmm. I want to miss group studies. Group study kept me going. That sustained me.
Never really liked group studies myself. I feel like I always got distracted, but what can you do? Online learning is distracting as it is. But also, we wanted to thank you so much for being a guest on our show today. It was great to have you. And before you go, we want to ask you, what song have you had on replay this week?
Okay, I actually was thinking about this quite recently, and I was looking through what like my most played songs were, and "Do It" by Chloe X Halle, or Chloe by Halle, I'm not sure how they pronounce it. It's such a good song.
Okay, well, that's the next song we're going to be playing for everybody. So stay tuned for the rest of our show after. And also, hopefully you can come back on our show in the next few weeks here.
I would love that. I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I beat my face, moving fast cause the Uber on the way. Taking pictures, make sure you can see no less. That wig secure like the money in a safe. I look like babe, now I'm on the way. Let you know when I'm about a mile away. When I'm outside, please don't make me wait. The party's starting when we pull up to the gate. Girl, we so late. I'm just with the crew. We ain't out here looking for boo. Cause some nights be better with you. It's a homies only kind of mood, and tonight we on 100. No drama, no baby, my boss keeping it cute. Ooh, ooh, that's just what I do, and that's just how we do it, yeah, that's just how we do it, you like it what I do, you know how to keep it cool, and that's just how we do it, yeah, that's just how we do it, and you can do it too, no complaints, left the heels at home, I'm on my sneaker game, he say where you from, tell him out of space, cause the back the only thing I'm tryna chase, I'm in my head, just tell the DJ press play, rewind, keep it on repeat, tiptoe round a hater, I'm light on my feet, that's how you do it, keep stunting on your enemies, good vibes only, I'm just with the crew, we ain't out here looking for boo, cause some nights be better with you.
Okay, so you've been listening to CJSF 90.1 FM Burnaby, the campus community radio station at Simon Fraser University, and this has been WTF SFSS. I was your host, Paria, and my co-host is Belkis. Thank you so much,
Thanks for
Belkis,
being here.
thank you so much for being on the show. So this is going to be a bi-weekly show for now, and when our next show airs in 2 weeks, it's going to be me again interviewing another member of the SFSS board, so stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions about our show, you can hit us up at SFSS_SFU or any of our other SFSS social medias. Balkis, do you have anything else to say?
Just stay tuned. This is the spot to learn about what's going on with your student society.
This is the spot, everybody. You heard it here first. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.
This is Free Voices at CJSF 90.1 FM, talking to you about
Eagle Nation Universal Production Society. We are 10 board of directors and we are rejoicing for world history. Our show is based on true stories, musical and storytelling and role-playing, silent crimes broken, very interesting series of show.
and a lot of in-depth oral tradition. We play every Thursday from 3 to 4. Come and join us.
In celebration of SFSS Dance Week, we have a few songs lined up for you from different genres. The first one is Uday Dil Bi Fikre. The next one is Baby by Burna Boy. And we have Dubai Wali Sheikh by Nimra Khaira. And the very last one is Hello by Case. We hope that you tune in 2 weeks on Thursday at 10 a.m. to listen to our show once again. That is WTF SFSS.
I dare you.
I dare you.
I dare you.
बेफिक्रे अंगारों में निकले बुरे दिल बेफिक्रे रात भर झूमेंगे आसमां घूमेंगे चांदिये चूमेंगे तारों के मारेंगे फेरे बुरे दिल बेफिक्रे अंगारों में निकले बुरे दिल बेफिक्रे झंझना सनसना जाए सांसें जगमगा जाए आंखें मिलते 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 ही डगमगा खनखना हड़बड़ा जाए सांसें तड़पड़ा जाए बाहें मिलते 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 ही आग के ढेले हैं बर्फ के ढेले हैं
Attention, vers les coulisses.
थोड़े थोड़े दिल के टुकड़े उड़े दिल बेफिक्रे बेफिक्रे अखबारों में निकले उड़े दिल बेफिक्रे अखबारों में निकले उड़े दिल बेफिक्रे I say my baby, you know Sunday or Wendy, you coming like Onyeka or Wenu. And if you give, I could take you, oh, shake you. I still dey study your case, you. You cannot go make a mistake, you. And if you leave, I could praise you. Been a setup, you don't do your booty, now your body better. I no go live, I never make a no regret. Every day different palava. The other day when I jam Natasha, she say I give Lala day banana. Wanna be me to a mo na na na. One time for my baby, you. You know Sunday or Wendy, you coming like Onyeka or Wenu. And if you give, I could take you, oh, shake you. I still dey study your case, you. You cannot go make a mistake, you. And if you leave, I could praise you. Because you be my order, I put something for your hands. You give me some another. You gon' be my baby mama. I will push and go. Show more. That's her body they done. She don't say it don't take when I dip it from my tongue. And then they catch you cool and they see I'm a done. Your body make me strong, I'm feeling like Jackie Chan. But if you use me, shine, no go pick your car. So make you no go tell me at all. I say my baby, you know Sunday or Wendy, you coming like Onyeka or Wenu. And if you give, I could take you, oh, shake you. I still dey study your case, you. You cannot go make a mistake, you. And if you leave, I could praise you. Because you be my order, I put something for your hands. You give me some another. You gon' be my baby mama.
ਜੀਨ ਵਾਲੀ ਕੰਧ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ ਪਰਖ ਨਾ ਹੌਸਲੇ ਬੁਲੰਦ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ ਹਾਓ ਟੱਪ ਜਾਂਗੇ ਜੀਨ ਵਾਲੀ ਕੰਧ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ ਪਰਖ ਨਾ ਹੌਸਲੇ ਬੁਲੰਦ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ ਹਾਏ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਏ ਰੂਪ ਤੇਰਾ ਕੈਮਿਆ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਏ ਰੂਪ ਤੇਰਾ ਕੈਮਿਆ ਪਰ ਪੱਟਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਪੱਟਨੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਰੂਪ ਦੀ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਆਊਗਾ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਅੱਥਰੇ ਸਵਾ ਦਾ ਘੈਂਟ ਜੱਟ ਨੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਰੂਪ ਦੀ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਆਊਗਾ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਅੱਥਰੇ ਸਵਾ ਦਾ ਘੈਂਟ ਜੱਟ ਨੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਰੂਪ ਦੀ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਆਊਗਾ ਬਿੱਲੋ ਅੱਥਰੇ ਸਵਾ ਦਾ ਘੈਂਟ ਜੱਟ ਨੀ ਬਟਾਉਣ ਬਟਾਉਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਜੇ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ ਤੂੰ ਬਿਆਨਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਾਨ ਦਾ ਬਿਆਨਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਾਨ ਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਬਾਲੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਮੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਬਟਾਉਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਜੇ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ ਤੂੰ ਬਿਆਨਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਾਨ ਦਾ ਬਿਆਨਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਾਨ ਦਾ
ਅੱਜ ਤਾਈਂ ਬੜੇ ਦਿਲ ਤੋੜਿਆ ਅੱਜ ਤਾਈਂ ਬੜੇ ਦਿਲ ਤੋੜਿਆ ਤੂੰ ਆਹੀ ਮਿੱਠੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਚਲਾ ਕੇ ਪੱਟ ਲਈ
ਰਾਖੀ ਰੂਪ ਦੀ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਆਊਗਾ
ਮੇਰੇ ਰੂਪ ਦੇ ਆ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਚਰਚੇ
ਰਾਖੀ ਰੂਪ ਦੀ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਆਊਗਾ ਬਿੱਲੂ ਅੱਥਰੇ ਸਵਾਰਾ ਖੇਡ ਜੱਟ ਨੀ
ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਡਬਈ ਵਾਲੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ
ਰਾਖੀ ਰੂਪ ਦੀ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਆਊਗਾ ਬਿੱਲੂ ਅੱਥਰੇ ਸਵਾਰਾ ਖੇਡ ਜੱਟ ਨੀ ਹਾਏ ਓਏ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਮੰਜੇ ਬਿਸਤਰੇ
ਮੇਰੇ ਰੂਪ ਦੇ ਆ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਚਰਚੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਡਬਈ ਵਾਲੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਰੂਪ ਦੇ ਆ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਚਰਚੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਡਬਈ ਵਾਲੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਦੇ ਆ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਚਰਚੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਡਬਈ ਵਾਲੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, she had the thing I love. And where she from, I don't know. Rock she waist and go low. Pick up the place like a dojo. So what you say, what you say, what you say? Pretty girl, when you come my way. Now what you do, what you do, what you do? I must get through. Girl, roll up now, you show me that wine. Turn around, girl, don't be shy. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, so girl, I love how the way you blow my mind. Hold me tight and bring that wine. Hello, 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 hello. Lord, hey. Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Are you ready? Are you ready for it? You want give me that? Don't hold back. Wind it up, right there, front to the back. No long chat, just come to me. I'll give you that sweet type of love, sweet type of love. Come give me that sweet type of love, real type of love. Hold me, darling, 'cause whole night we jamming. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say she sweet like a mango, she play the thing like a banjo. Them other girl them don't know how she clap the thing like a go-go. Lad,